it is more than likely precancer.
Don't be slack when it comes to this.
For the first time, we're gonna use these things. They call them the marriage savers.
One of the most important videos that we could give to you. Learn from those who've made mistakes so you don't have to.
Beautiful scenes and so much more in this episode on Blown Away. The South Anchorage has been epic, but after 4 days, we need to get moving. We're gonna head over to the southeast corner of the island, that direction. For the first time, we're gonna use these things. They call them the marriage savers. So hopefully this will help us communicate really well as we're picking up 5 of our floats today. Who knows? This will be a new one. So we've got a little bit of a complication today. Our chain right now is under a big bommy. So we're gonna have to maneuver the boat out this way and around and try not to get it caught on there. So Brown's gonna have his work cut out for him, and so will I, getting 5 of these floats back up on board. So I'm gonna put the video camera up on the mast so you get to see this in action. I first start by opening the portside lazarette because our chain locker is not big enough to hold 200 feet of chain, and it stacks up to the point where I have to go into the locker while I'm retrieving the chain and kick down the pile. When the bridle comes up, I take off the soft shackle and pull in the bridle, securing it to the front cleat. Then I show Brown the direction to take the boat to pull in more chain and take off 1 chain float at a time. Each one has to be pulled until the chain float is up against the bottom of the trampoline, and then its line needs to be secured somewhere before I can bring in more chain and another float. Since the port engine has a slipping clutch, it sometimes takes a while for Brown to be able to get it to engage and move the boat to the right, so I often have to wait for the chain to pull us or until the engine engages, whichever comes first. And in this case, Brown was unable to maneuver the boat to get the chain out from under the bommy, so while he stayed at the helm, I put on my snorkel gear and pulled the chain out from under the bommy. We were then able to move forward and retrieve the final 2 floats and eventually the anchor. This completed the process and allowed us to move to our new anchorage. Looks like straight ahead, yeah. That was definitely a tougher exercise picking up than we thought. Brown, turn a little to the port, just a tad. Okay, we're good. Big plug for these marriage savers. I can't believe we haven't used them till now. They're pretty awesome. All right, we're almost here. 2 hours across the atoll, dodging bommies, not too bad. It is a little chilly. I've got a jacket on. It's like 74 degrees. It's a little cold. And I've had Brown talking in my ear nonstop the whole trip. Wow, 60 feet. You can see the bottom. This is amazing. Straight ahead is littered with bommies. We are anchored down here, and Brown is checking to see if we have anchored in a spot that's too close to the bommies. It's definitely...
Well, we're looking good.
Yeah? Is that bommy, how tall is it to the top?
I'd say they're 6 feet.
Okay, good. We're in a beautiful spot. That'll be nice to
Where's
stay.
the other ones you're concerned about?
Brown is going out to check on the distance that we are to the bommy that if we swung, we potentially could hit. But it would have to be a west wind, so I'm not sure we'll ever get a west wind, but he's gonna check it out. So we use this rangefinder. It's a laser rangefinder. It determines distance. It's fantastic to figure out how far we are from an object or from another boat. And we're gonna use this now to figure out how far we are from the bommy. After measuring the distance of the bommy and the anchor from the boat, we were very happy that our calculations showed that we would still be about 30 feet from the bommy in the rare case of a full 180-degree turn. You can never be too careful here in the Tuamotus. Now we can relax.
Wow, here we are at the Tahanea sandy East Anchorage. We're the only people here right now. and it's absolutely lovely. One of the reasons why we're the only people here is there's a north wind, so you don't get any protection against the fetch that's coming across the atoll. But we're hanging in there, and it's not that uncomfortable in a catamaran. The Admiral is getting some great shots for us right now, and she is going to get some incredible footage for us to share with you guys and for us to look at in our old age in the old folks home, if we can even remember it's there. I got it.
Now on, you're gonna see me looking like this with crazy pink zinc on my lips or blue, and if I don't have it on, you have a right to get on me because I need to be wearing sunblock on my lips. And the reason is because I was diagnosed about a week and a half ago with actinic cheilitis, which is sailor's lip. It is a pre-cancer of the lips and typically shows up on the bottom lip. My lips were very dry, and over the course of a few days, everything else disappeared except for one white lesion in the middle of my bottom lip. And when that happened, I knew that something was wrong. I don't even know how, but maybe because I remembered that my friend Deb went through this 5 years ago in St. Martin, and she went to a dermatologist and had it cut out of her lip. And I remember how painful it was and what she went through. So I took pictures and sent it off to my dermatologist in Guatemala. I sent it to an ER doc, and I also sent it to Deb and asked if they thought this might be cancer. And all of them said yes, more than likely, but the only way to really tell is to go see a dermatologist. Well, we're in Tahanea, and getting to the airport in Fakarava would not have been so easy. My dermatologist did say I had about a month to get in and get it checked before it could go in the wrong direction. So in the meantime, I spoke to Deb, and Deb said that there are a ton of ways to handle this homeopathically. She warned me, don't use the chemo cream, it's extremely painful. Don't get it cut out and biopsied, it's extremely painful. So Deb said, you know what, you can start handling this using homeopathic methods. And she named some things that she was using. First of all, jojoba as a carrier oil, or coconut oil as a carrier oil. Frankincense and myrrh are known to be essential oils that will heal pre-cancer on the lips. Amazingly, what you may not know is Brown is a little bit crazy about perfumes and scents. If you've been around us at all, you know that he is infatuated with scents, smells, aromas, and so he has bought all of these essential oils, and we actually had them on board. I am allergic to colognes and perfumes that are made in the factory, but essential oils I have no problem with. Well, amazingly, he had everything we needed. As Deb is naming these things, he's coming out of the hull with all of these items that Deb is talking about. Frankincense and myrrh, a drop of these, plus the carrier oil, jojoba. And this was combined into this little contraption that Brown has on board, again, my crazy husband, which is just a roller ball. So I was easily able to apply this to my lips several times a day, especially to the area that had the lesion. Then at night, she encouraged me to use lanolin with manuka honey, and believe it or not, Brown had this on board. So I use a little bit of this each night on my lips as well. Amazingly, within 3 days, it seemed like the spot was getting smaller, but I just was a little bit nervous to say, hey, this is what's happening. But after 10 days, when it was completely gone, I was blown away, pun intended, that this formula worked. And then the other thing was vitamin C for my face and also for my lips. So the combination of these, plus her warning that now anytime I'm in the sun, I should avoid being in the sun at peak times as much as possible, which can be very difficult on a boat. But when I am out there, that I need to put on pure zinc. So from now on, you're going to see me with these funky lips, which is great because it is so bright and hideous. It's very easy to tell when it washes off. I'm very thankful for having this spot gone, we still will do our annual checkups, and when we get to Tahiti in 6 months, we will definitely go to the dermatologist and have them look specifically at my lips, do a full body scan, which is what we do annually. But I thought that this might be really important for you to know. You might just want to throw some of these essential oils on board to work homeopathically instead of pharmaceuticals. It's just so much better. And they also smell really good, so you can enjoy this beautiful scent at the same time as the fact that they can do incredible things to heal your body. I wanted to share this with you because I think it's an important message for anyone who is on a boat and exposed to the sun. It's so rare to be able to anchor in shallow water and all sand with no chain floats. We love swimming the chain and checking the anchor before wandering out a bit further to see what's happening on the bommies that surround the boat. Snorkeling in Tahanea is just beautiful and relaxing.
Oh my goodness, we just got a call on VHF saying we've lost our dinghy. Thankfully, it's been seen all the way over there, caught by a motu, and we've got to go out and get it. Whatever you do, make sure you double tie your dinghy. You don't want to lose that. That's really valuable, especially in the middle of a remote area like this. It could cost you dearly.
You guys shouldn't risk getting any closer than you need to.
Jordan, you don't charge a modeling fee, do you? Nice.
The best.
That's a good sign.
You guys are amazing.
Oh, so glad to help.
So that was a great reminder to always have a backup line on your dinghy.
Yeah, so we really learned all about that when we were in Georgetown Exumas, and I'm telling you, like every day over the VHF, you would hear, "I've lost my dinghy, come help me." And some of them would just go out to sea, and people would really risk a lot to help go find these dinghies. Well, we have never wanted to be there, never wanted to be one of those people. When you're tying up the dinghy, I'll speak for at least myself, it's easy to get distracted and drop what you're doing and not do it correctly. And maybe it holds for a little while, but then it goes. But if you do it twice, you have assured yourself that it's probably never going to separate. So,
well, the other part of that too is when you lose your dinghy, you're asking another cruiser to put their dinghy at risk to try and find yours. In this case, it was very simple. It was just a trip to this island, very short distance away. But if it had been a place where there were rocks or other things, that you now have asked another cruiser to potentially lose their car, and that's a big ask. It's a good reminder to always take precautions.
So there's a lot of work in this dinghy. We got a Pipeline 2800 centimeter with a 30 horsepower engine. Then we added wheels, we added chaps, a fuel filter, and I would say it's probably about $20,000 worth. And it would be a lot of work to get it back to the same deal, plus we'd be out of the dinghy. This is one of the most important videos that we could give to you, especially you cruisers out there. Don't be slack when it comes to this. Don't be that person that's on the VHF calling. Make sure it's so simple, just 2 lines. Listen, if you really appreciate videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, share with other people so they can learn not to do this. We really appreciate you guys. Learn from those who've made mistakes so you don't have to.